So when creating a rubric, a really good place to go is just Microsoft Office Word. So here you're going to go to the different tabs that are across the top. So this is called your ribbon, and then you have your file, your home tab, insert. As you go through the different tabs, you're going to see different options that exist. For this one, we're going to go to the insert tab at the top, to table, and then we're going to choose the size of table that we want. So if I'm doing a 3-point rubric, I would choose a table that is 4. And you have 5 different criteria, so I go 4 by 6. And then here it just puts a rough table in. Now here is where I would go and I would type the criteria for this particular rubric, and then here I would discriminate what the different ratings are going to be across here. So some people put their numbers across. Some may have a happy face, a neutral face, a sad face, depending on what grade of the student is at. So you can choose what you want to do there. I'm going to actually insert another column by right-clicking and going down to Insert, column to the right, and just so that I have a 0 also in case the criteria is not met. And then the criteria here should actually be from your program of studies. So I'm just going to pull across the program of studies here. So whenever you assess students, it's really important that when you create a rubric, that the rubric is focusing on whatever curriculum that you're addressing. So in this particular one, we're talking about the ICT outcomes, but if the main purpose of the project was language arts, you'd be focusing on language arts outcomes. So here I'm just going to just guide you to a couple sections here. So here we have our general outcomes and our specific outcomes. Now think about a project that you could use a few different specific outcomes that would be the point of your activity. So look for a grouping of outcomes. So for example, if I want this particular one to be one of the outcomes, I would then put that here as a criteria. And so now I'm going to go back to this other one, and let's say that there is another one that I want to have here. So being able to synthesize and analyze. So we'll put that as a criteria. So again, the criteria should be right from your program of studies. You're going to do 5 different criteria, and then you have to look for how you can describe the range of it. So how do you know if they have completely met this? How do you know if they need improvement in that area, or if they're getting there? And how do you know if they have quite a bit of work left to occur, or how do you know if they're not getting it at all? So what's the evidence for this? This would be provided for the students beforehand so they know what's expected of their project, and then they would be able to articulate that. So I'm just going to pretend that my rubric is completely done. So I'm going to highlight the whole thing just by clicking on this 4 arrow icon, and I'm going to go back to the table tool. So because I have the table selected, see how this little yellow contextual toolbar comes up? If I click off of it, then sometimes I will lose that toolbar. So because it knows I'm dealing with a table, it's giving me that option. So then I click on Table Tools. Then I'm going to select a rubric style. So here there's lots of different ones. Choose one that makes sense for your content. And you can just see how you would have your descriptions across here. And then at the bottom you would have your total. So again, just showing how your rubric would actually assess the curricular outcomes, not focusing on sometimes when people create rubrics, it focuses on the presentation or the flair of it, and often that's not meeting a criteria outcome. So it's really just ensuring that you're meeting criteria and that you are assessing a curricular outcome. From this point, you could then take this and right-click on the whole thing once it's finished, and you can copy it, and then you can paste it onto a wiki to share with students, or you can go File, Save As. Clicked on the wrong one here. And if you use the drop-down arrow, go down to PDF, and then change this to a really good description for what that assignment would be on. And then you can save that as a PDF. So when something's finished and polished, usually you want to share it as a PDF, not as a Word document. So hopefully that is helpful, and now you know how to create a rubric.